going to get going here, starting in a Baddha Konasana position. So it's going to be your feet together, your knees wide, and you can do what you like with the arms, but as you know, this beginning breath work is really important. So I prefer, if you can, take your right hand on your belly button, take your left hand on your heart, and we can mix up the arms in just a second, but I just want you to really connect here. So this is going to do a few things for you. Number one, it's going to connect you, obviously, to a very visceral part of your body. And then, of course, with the left hand, it gives you that connection with the heart itself. Now, you can take that physically or metaphorically, but we're going to just really concentrate on big, full breath. So in this position, you should feel a rise and fall happening, both hands, right? The breath is going in and out of your nose, always. Do not forget that. Take your time breathing in. The perfect breath cycle is about 5.5 seconds each breath. So think about 11 seconds to breathe in and breathe out. And of course you can count that, or you could just judge that. Remember, this tool is always available to you if you're ever feeling stressed out, or if you have time in the morning or in the evening, before and after your day, to just connect. Doesn't take a lot. It's just a dedication to some very focused breath. And then go ahead and just stretch your arms. Reach them for the wall behind you. Stretch out your fingers, stretch your ribs away from your hips. And breathe here. And then allow your arms to come by your sides. Palms are going to face up here. Close your legs. Take your feet about mat distance. Windshield wiper the legs. I love this stretch. It's such a great stretch for your side hips, side knees. Now you want to coordinate your breath here always. All right, exhale in the twist. Can you feel the stretch that you get, the opening from your knees to your hips? The other thing you may want to connect with is any twisting going on in the pelvis, because in a couple of seconds we will hold that stretch. So when the legs are right, and you're familiar with this stretch, so I know you know this left hip, if it's really far off the ground right now, I want you to just stay right here and don't think about anything else. I think in the past I've told you as well, like if you're at home and you have a weight, you would have to have a pretty significant weight here, but you could actually put a weight down on your hips, and then that would actually hold the hip down. If you would like more, you can cross your right heel over your left ankle, and that adds weight to increase the stretch, right? So that really pulls between the knee and the hip. So just breathe here into this left side. So now you'll inhale out of that big stretch. You'll take it the other way. And again, so I personally notice that my right hip is less tight. So this stretch for me, I don't have to even think about keeping the hip down. It's down. If you want more, you can toss your left heel over your right side leg. Maybe for you, you notice the exact opposite. But again, I find if I'm doing this stretch on my own, if I take a heavy weight and I put it just below my hip bone here, then I can help secure and push the hip down to the ground. So come out of this. As you will feel, that's a big, big pull on the lower back. So please take your thighs into your belly and give yourself a good squeeze. That helps to neutralize any twisting through your sacrum. We'll do quite a bit of work here and through the core and sacrum area. So with these thighs on your belly, keep the right one in. Stretch out your left leg. So maybe notice that my left foot is flexed. So keep your core engaged, inhale and exhale and switch. So you know that you can always add on to these kind of core exercises. This is a really just basic warming here through low belly. It's also a great stretch between your hamstring, butt, and back. So it's a very gentle release here through your lower back. If you want to add on, you could lift your shoulders off the ground and then add a little bit of this work here through the front core. I'm going to give you a lot of different options here today to give yourself more or less. So hopefully you feel some fire starting here between your breastbone and your pubic bone. And then back into the sacrum. So take your legs to the ceiling, flex your toes. You're familiar with this one too because it's one of my favorites. You do that hip lift. And it's so subtle, but it's so good. So the belly is strongly pulling in. You're pushing each foot very strongly towards the ceiling. The hips only are lifting. It's not your legs waving side to side. Okay, so stay here, but you're going to take your heels together and your toes out, fingers to your temples. We're going to crunch in, elbows to knees, and then so your shoulders are off the ground here and your tailbone is slightly curled in. Here's your two options with the legs. You can stretch all the way out. That's going to be if you have a very healthy low back and core, or you're going to be here, closer towards the ceiling. So you choose, but please take care of your spine. Exhale, curl the tail. Inhale, stretch everything out. 3 more. Legs to the ceiling, arms out like a T. You're going to tick-tock your legs left and right. You're going to keep your heels in and your toes out. This is a very effective move for your obliques. It's a very fast movement. Give yourself a big squeeze, thighs to belly. Back to some stretching. So flip over onto your left side, grab your right foot with your right hand. So as you know, this is half bow. Look at my shape here. Okay, I'm creating a bow shape. I'm pushing hips forward, creating a back bend. So remember, you can flip onto your back here for half here. We're just going to be here for quite literally a minute. And then I'm going to have you work on some hip mobility and strength. So you choose if you want half here or half bow. Whatever you choose works for you. You can have your leg down or have the support of the foot. Okay, so depending on where you are, if you're in half here, you're going to need to flip back over. So first, knee. Okay, so flex and extend the knee. I'm kicking through my heel. Okay, can you see that? It's just my knee. It's just my knee working. Okay, we're going to get to the hip in just a second. So when we start our hip stuff, it's actually going to be some strength and mobility. So you're going to feel some fatigue eventually on this right hip. So first, we're going to start with the foot flexed. The foot points to the wall, not to the ceiling. And you're going to just start with some nice slow leg lifts. Again, look at your foot right now. If your foot faces anywhere else but the wall, you need to slightly pigeon toe it in. Does that help to give you a visualization here? So slight pigeon toe of the foot. Okay, really, and if you're like, well, what are we working here? Put your hand on those glutes. Okay, so this is primarily your glute medius, which is right here, if you can see that where I'm pointing. Okay, then we're going to do some circles. And with the circles, I really want some good mobility all the way back. So when you push your hip back, activate this muscle right here, okay, more of the glute max. 3 different glute muscles that support the hip, plus your piriformis. So really find all of that here. Push back, bring it around. Okay, circle in reverse. Again, watch that foot. It's very important that it's pointing to the wall. You're pushing all the way back. Is your hip starting to get a little fatigued? This is very important work because your hips, right? I kind of view the hips as the transition between upper half and lower half of body. Okay, then we're going to add on, and it's not going to be an easy one. So you're going to first just lift your right leg up to the ceiling. Keep it about, well, you can see it's maybe like a foot off the ground. Then you're going to bring it forward. So if you're looking at a clock right now, like if you were a clock, your foot would be pointing at like 5 o'clock. Take it to 4 o'clock. Take it to 3 o'clock. Bring it back to 4, 5, 6 o'clock. We're going to do it again. 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Back, back, back. Again. back, back. We're doing 2 more. Forward, 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 back, back, back. One more time. Forward, 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 back, back, back. Ow, right? You can hit that leg a little bit. Stay right here. I want you to work your right oblique. So you're going to lay down on the ground, right fingers to the temple. I'm going to have you just lift your shoulders off the mat. Please try to use these muscles right here, not that arm. It's a tiny movement, so that shouldn't be too difficult to really tie that in to the right hip, to the right ribs. Then we'll flip. So when you flip, we got all that again, right? So we're starting with your quadricep stretch. So you can be right here, or you can flip and be here. Don't forget that smooth breath in and out of your nose. More breath. And then again, wherever you are, it doesn't matter which version, you're going to come out. You're going to start by the kicking of the knee. So I need knee only. Okay, really isolate knee only. I'm going to flip around so you don't have to look at my backside. Okay, just the knee. That lubricated. Kick it up. Okay, then we're starting with simple leg lifts. So again, the toes point to me, not to the ceiling, and I need you to take your time. So if you're here like, I need you to really slow it down. So remember, this is being done through wet concrete, up and down, okay? Because the down means it's easier, right? Because you have gravity supporting. I want you to pretend that you could actually resist all of that and take your time bringing the leg back down. Please check in with that foot. Need you to use this muscle right here, not your quadriceps. Then we'll start our nice big circles. Now this is a lot of hip mobility. Bring it all the way around. Breathe. And switch. Don't space out here. Really push that leg back. Keep the toes pointing to me, not the ceiling. Where do you feel this? Is this leg stronger or weaker? So many things to think about here. Push it back. Use your glutes. Feel the mobility of the hip. Does it have the same mobility as your right hip? Mobility and strength are going to walk hand in hand. Okay, so we're going to finish this set with that really tough burn. So you're going to lift the leg up, but then when you bring it down, it's going to be about 1.5 feet off the ground. You're going to bring that leg forward. Remember, look at a clock, right? So think I don't know. Is it still the same on this side? I don't know. Let's just use the same number. So 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Forward, 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 back, back, back. Keep it going. Is anybody amazed at how heavy their leg is? One more time. Owie, right? Now to those obliques on this side. So right arm is out. You're not going to use it. Left hand is to the ceiling. Look at the ceiling. That's your goal. Lift, lift. Last one. Good. Give yourself a good old squeeze, thighs to belly. That should feel so great after that work. Bridge pose. Feet down, hips high. So the bridge pose also uses the glutes, but it also ties into those hamstrings and into your lower back. Now everybody, imagine you have a ball between your knees right now. So I don't want the legs splitting out at all. I want you to really engage into your inner thighs. Stay on your right foot, take your left leg to the ceiling. Flex those toes to the shin bone and pulse your hips up and down here. So again, really very specific glute to hamstring and back. Last 5. And switch. So flex the toes, get the hips level. Pulse. Three, 2, 1. Both feet down, even out the hips, hips high, breathe in. And let each vertebra come down. When you're touching down, reverse table. So hands down, feet down, stretch out your shoulders, let your head fall back, get your hips really high. Tuck your chin, drop your hips, cross your ankles, and take a ragdoll fold at the top of your mat. So bending the knees a lot. Hands on your elbows and drop your head. Take a little twist here. Right hand down, left leg straight. Keep your right knee bent, left arm high. It's such a good stretch. I'm sure you can feel that down your hamstring. Part feels really good after that hip exercise. Switch. Even it out, both hands down, straight legs. Or straight-ish, I mean, you know, depends on what you can do. But it would be better for you to have a block or anything that would give you a little bit of lift here and have straight legs, because then that's the full hamstring stretch. Take a huge breath in. Place your hands on your shin bones. Take half lift. Exhale, fold. Do it again. And fold. 3 more. 2. Last one. Plant those hands, step it back for forearm plank. And you can take this, of course, on your knees. That's not a problem at all. Drive your shoulder blades apart. Okay, onto your belly. Wag your tail a few times so that you can relax all of those engaged muscles, and then pull the belly to the spine, zipping the legs together, rolling cobra. So there's no weight in the hands here, using all of your back core. Your nose points to the ground. Great, good posture muscles here, and then release. And again, and release. Keep going. Going to toe pads. Push yourself up onto your hands, back traction, hips to heel. And then engage your core, but do stretch your core. Hips are heavy, chin up. 2 more. The last one. Push yourself back into a down dog position. Pedal out your feet. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. Stretch those calves and Achilles tendons. Walk your hands back to your toes and find a frog squat. And, you know, my speech always with frog squat is, I know it's a tough place to get to for some of us. It is a vital place to practice. Try to do this every day if you can, because it really helps with the entire lower body flexibility, really putting your joints into their full capacity. Chest is up. So do engage your core here. Keep breathing. Now please adjust your fingertips on the mat. Push yourself to an upright position. Stretch yourself out as you rise. Big opening here. So I want you to try to get up onto your tippy toes. Stretching your hands to the ceiling. You can stay on your tippy toes and try to come down into a deep frog squat position. You don't have to, but if you can, why not? Super breath in, come up. See if you can stay on those tippy toes. So tippy toes is going to challenge your balance. Come down. It'll challenge your balance. It will strengthen your feet and ankles. Come back up. And again. Back up. Keep it going. Anytime you're doing squats, you need to make sure your tailbone is tucked underneath you, so that helps to keep your core engaged. You don't want your tailbone sticking up because that's going to mess with your lower back. Two more. Last one. And then just dropping through the heels, interlace your hands behind you. Keep your heels where they are, but just turn your toes in. So we're pinching toeing the feet here, creating the bind across the chest, and then big fold, drop your head. Place your hands on your hips. Slide down the back of your thighs. Walk your hands forward, back into your dog. Lift your right leg up to the ceiling. On your exhale, knee to nose. That's your core. Right leg high to your first lunge. And really get heavy on the hips here. Please put your left knee down on the ground. Place your right forearm on your right thigh. Reach your left arm forward, up, and then over. So that's my connective tissue, side stretch, hip that we love. Please remember this. Very good to do. Breathe into that side. Do take your time coming out of this. Take your hands to the ground and then engaging your core. Send that right leg back. Lift your left leg high. Knee to nose. Leg high. Lunge. So when you get here, you're just doing the front lunge first. Now lower your right knee to the ground. Place your left forearm on your left thigh. Reach your right arm forward, up, over. Breathe. And then release your right hand to the ground. Take that left leg back. Please pedal out your legs again. That's some big, big stretches. Then lift your right leg high. Right knee, right elbow to the left, back to the right. Right leg high to lunge. Get to a halfway lift here. And then feet together, fold. Big toes together, stand up tall, Tadasana, reach up. On your exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, get low. Easy twist. Right hand to your sacrum, left arm reaching out of its socket, look over your right shoulder. Take an inhale to stand, and as you exhale, standing splits. Left leg high, nose to the knee. Shiva squats. Get those legs strong. Kick up. And then rebend that right knee, land in a low lunge position. So I just toe heeled my foot over to the right so I get a solid stance as I rise. Huge breath in. That's your high lunge position. Make sure your hips are squared. Your core is engaged. Deep breath in. Big twist to your right. Swing around and find, you guessed it, high pyramid pose. On your exhale, with your hands coming to the heart, bend your left knee. Lift your left toes off the ground so you're really low here, sitting back. Inhale, exhale, switch. I really love side-to-side lunges because they strengthen your legs, but they also give you a fantastic stretch through your groin. So, like a lot of yoga stuff, 2 for 1. So keep your toes lifted, keep that weight low. Low and back, yeah? Breathing. One more to each. And then just a nice deep fold. So drop your head, shake it out. Take a half lift here, turn to the top of your mat, and find your downward dog. Your left leg will lift. Left knee, left elbow to the right elbow, back to the left elbow, left leg high to your lunge, halfway lift. Feet together, fold. Big toes will be together. Tadasana mountain pose, stand and reach. Tuck that tail in, come down into your chair position. Get low, left hand to your sacrum, right arm reaching forward. Inhale out of that, Tadasana. Exhale, fold. Standing splits, right leg high. Shiva squats. And then land in a low lunge position. So if you need to do what I usually do here, toe heel that foot over, that way you get a good wide stance. You can make sure both of your hip points face forward, that there's no asymmetry here in the pelvis. So check yourself out, arms to sky. On your exhale, twist. Swing around and start your side-to-side lunges. And again, So my toes are lifted. I'm keeping all the weight on the back of the heels. I'm using my entire foot bed, keeping my butt down. Breathing. And give yourself a good fold here. Drop your head, shake it out. Turn to the top of your mat, plant the hands, and you're back in your dog. Right leg high, right knee, right elbow. To your left, back to your right. Inhale, right leg high, forward to lunge. Halfway lift, and feet together, fold. Big toes together, Tadasana, stand and reach. As you have a seat, Utkatasana, bring your hands together. You know your easy twist is there for you if you need it. Otherwise, full prayer twist. Driving the left elbow forward, finding length. Drop that elbow on top of your right thigh and look over your right shoulder. Don't forget to breathe. Use your core. Come out of this. Bring your left knee with you for standing knee raise. You can stay here or full airplane. Bend your right knee, land in your low lunge. If you need to toe heel that right foot over, do so. Arms to sky, breathe in. Twist here. Inhale all the way around to reverse triangle pose, reverse Trikonasana. You can bind your arm behind you if you like. Now notice what your right toes are doing. Try to relax them. Full triangle pose. Remember how much length you have here. Don't collapse. So I need you to reach your right arm forward. And so again, don't collapse here. As you reach forward, you can do a lot with the arms here. You can take traditional Trikonasana pose, or you can bring your arms forward. Take your inhale out of that, parallel your feet, forward fold, drop your head. Take a half lift. Turn back to the top of your mat, meet back in dog. Lift your left leg high, left knee, left elbow to your right, back to your left. Left leg high, forward to lunge. Halfway lift, feet together, fold. Big toes together, Tadasana. As you exhale, have a seat, Utkatasana. So when you're here, you have choices of gentle twist or full twist. Elbow out, elbow over. Sit low and breathe. Take your inhale out of this to a right standing knee raise. So you can stay here, this is balance, or fly, airplane pose. Now bend your left knee and land softly. So if you need to toe heel and get your alignment, do that. Arms to sky. Big twist here. And then all the way around to reverse triangle. So when you're here, okay, you can bind But really keep reaching those fingers to the ceiling. And again, think about the length you have between your left ribs and left hip. When you come into Trikonasana, don't let that collapse. Don't let that space shorten. So right hip goes back, left arm goes forward. Your choices here are regular Trikonasana or arms forward. Use your inhale to come back out. Parallel your feet, forward, fold. Drop your head. Take a half lift, turn to the top of your mat, plant your hands, downward dog. Pedal it out, move around a little bit. And we'll sit up half pigeon. Right leg will be forward. If you need anything to make this easier for you or to support the hip, please have that underneath your right hip. If you want to do figure four on your back, you can do that too. Set this up carefully because we do hold our hip stretches for a little bit. Okay, so use your core. Hands down. Take your right leg back and donkey kick your leg. Put your right foot down. Set up your half pigeon on the other side. Now you can do whatever hip stretch works for you. I really recommend you have something underneath your left hip to keep that up and level with the other hip. Stretch yourself forward and down. Please take yourself out of this. Donkey kick your leg. Gently circle. Push down both of your heels. And then meet on your back. Always ending our practice with supine twist. So thighs to belly squeeze first. And then right leg will be down. Left leg will go over. So many different ways you can do that. Just make sure whatever you pick, it works for you. Come back, thigh to belly squeeze. And then supine twist the other way, whatever works for you. Come back out, give yourself a good either very wide knees or dead bug. Make sure that your tail is firmly on the ground and rock side to side. Let your arms and legs float to the sky. Give everything a good shake. And then float down into Shavasana, corpse pose. Please spend at least 2 to 5 minutes in that posture. It's the most important yoga posture. And always, thank you so much.